Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. Now, you'll remember that yesterday we talked about the story of Peter, who was up on the rooftop at the house, and he was praying, and he went into a trance, and he saw this vision of this sheet being taken down from heaven, and on there were all sorts of animals of various kinds, and the Spirit told him to kill and eat, and Peter's like, I've never eaten anything that's unclean, and God tells him, look, the reality is don't anything that God has cleansed, you cannot call unclean. And then the sheet is taken up back into heaven. Peter's not sure what this all means. What is God showing him in this vision, in this trance? And then as soon as it happens, then it's finished. He then hears again that there's somebody coming to see him, and that he's not to question, he's just to go. So this is where we pick up today. And remember, we had a little bit at the beginning of the story that we also heard about this Cornelius, the centurion. And of course, if he's a centurion, it means he's a Roman. He's not a Jew, even though we're told that he fears God. And so we pick up today, chapter 10, beginning at verse 24. And we once again find out why Cornelius and the meaning of the sheet as well. And on the morrow, after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and had called together his kinsmen and near friends. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. But Peter took him up, saying, Stand up, for I myself also am a man. And as he talked with him, he went in, and found many that were come together. And he said unto them, Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company, or come unto one of another nation. But God hath shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Therefore came I unto you without gainsaying, as soon as I was sent for. I asked therefore, for what intent ye have sent for me. And Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour, and at the 9th hour I prayed in my house, and behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing, and said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of God. Send therefore to Joppa, and call hither Simon, whose surname is Peter. He is lodged in the house of one Simon, a tanner, by the seaside, who when he cometh shall speak unto thee. Immediately therefore I sent to thee, and thou hast well done that thou art come. Now therefore we are all here present before God to hear all things that are commanded thee of God. So, wow. So here Peter he didn't understand the vision that he saw in the trance, but now he's made that connection to what God is talking about unclean things, right? And common things. He realizes that as they've been struggling with this idea of how to incorporate those who are hearing the good news of God in Jesus Christ, those who are not members of the original covenant, right? Those who are Gentiles. Now here's this vision, not only the unclean that we're allowed to eat whatever it is that God has created, right? And eating various types of meats is allowable now compared to the original covenant where you weren't allowed to have things like shellfish or pork. Now it's allowable because God has cleansed it. But not only that, Peter makes the connection now, the string through the trance and through the being told also to go with this man, the realization that God is also including the Gentiles into the story, that Cornelius represents those who are outside of that original covenant and yet fear God and have a sense that for something out there is better than this Roman system of multiple gods and even worshiping Caesar as the leader of the particular Roman Empire. And so it is, even though Cornelius makes the mistake at the beginning of falling down and trying to worship Peter. And we actually see in the Old Testament lots of instances where people see visions of angels, right? And they fall down and try to worship the angels, and the angels have to do what Peter did. Stop. Oh, I'm just an angel, right? Like Peter said, I'm just a man. You don't worship me. Worship is due to God alone. So it is, even though Cornelius made that mistake, we're assured in the scriptures that he fears God. He has a sense that this God of the Jews is in fact the living God. And what he doesn't know is how to put that into effect, and how he, as a Gentile, somebody outside of that original covenant, and to be in that original covenant, you need to be a blood relative of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? And so how does he then hear this word and become a part of what God is doing? And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow when we continue on with Peter's response to Cornelius. So today's Friday. And so I hope that you will spend some time today clearing your schedule to make sure that nothing gets in the way of you being in church on Sunday here at St. John's. It's the most important thing we do is worship together at least once a week. And so 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock Holy Communion, 10 o'clock Holy Communion, and 5 o'clock evening prayer with communion. So all of those are great opportunities, and I hope that you will take advantage of that and join us for worship. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic Friday. May God bless you.